Hey guys, it's Sam here today with another video, and today I wanted to talk about holiday palettes. It is that time of the year where the holidays are coming up real quick on us, and we're thinking about what we're going to wear to this Christmas party, what are we going to wear to our parents' party, what are we wearing to our friends' party, where are we going for New Year's, Hanukkah, all of that. So I pulled out a ton of palettes, probably an excessive amount of palettes, to show you guys from my stash and just give you kind of some inspiration. There are some palettes that I'm going to show at the very end of the video that are no longer like available to purchase, but I do feel that like if you have them in your stash, you should pull them out because maybe somebody still has them laying around like I do. So you don't have to go out and like buy something new. If you're interested, let's get started. If you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you can come back and see lots more content like this. And without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm going to grab a bunch of these palettes, no particular order, just the way that they're laying out in front of me. And the first one that I pulled here is the Natasha Denona Cranberry palette. I feel like this is a great Christmas palette, especially for somebody who maybe wants to dip into deeper berries but isn't quite there yet. You can, for me, I like this as a deepening shade, and this kind of more as like a transitional shade. But if you are a little bit fairer, maybe this is your deeper shade, and then you just lay one of these on the lid. This shade here in the middle is a dual chrome. It's really, really pretty. It's like a kind of like peach to cranberry red color. You have this really cute pink if you're not quite a red girl for the holidays. I think it's a really beautiful option, and if you were to purchase this, this is not as steep as one of their bigger palettes, but you do get like that full Natasha Denona experience. Alright, so if you are somebody who's more of a neutral lover, but you like to dip into color sometimes, maybe you only like to do it on the holidays, this is something that released at Ulta. I think it's still available. It's a ColourPop palette called On the List, and this came out in the summer. It has like a garden theme, but honestly I think these color schemes would work also for Christmas, because if you're a neutral lover, you got all your browns, you got a burgundy in here that looks a little brownish, you have a green, but it's not, it's more sage than like green. You have this green shade that would look beautiful. You have a red, and these are really Christmassy. And then you have this dual chrome right here. It's like a purple and blue shift. This is your New Year's color, New Year's shade. If you want to do this for Christmas, this for New Year's or Hanukkah or some other holiday, I feel like that gives you the little bit of color, but you also have a ton of neutrals to play with in here, and I think this is a really good option for that neutral lover. Something affordable that is Juvia's Place, the Berries palette. They have a whole bunch of these palettes. This one I think is just great for Christmas. It does lean a little bit more berry pink, but this shade right here is a gorgeous red, and you can pair it with this deep darker shade or this one and get a really irresistible Christmas look. I really think that that's like a really beautiful combination for the holidays, and their formulas are really good, and their palettes are relatively inexpensive. So if you can get your hands on that, they're, you know, Juvia's Place is also available at Ulta. I don't know if this palette is there. Two other palettes that kind of follow into the red kind of theme that I'm talking about is the ColourPop Main Squeeze. I feel like this is, I hate the one thing I hate about these palettes is that they don't stay in the magnets very well. So this is the red one. I like this palette because it goes deep, it has a lighter shade, it has a very good mid-tone range. This shade right here in particular is really beautiful. You can see in the mirror, it's a dual chrome. It shifts gold to red in a very subtle, beautiful way, and these are also very affordable. If you are of a deeper or darker skin tone and you like something a little bit richer, then the ColourPop Wine Only palette will do that for you. It doesn't have a dual chrome shade in there, but this is a really, really beautiful option. Very similar to the Huda Beauty's Nude Rich one though. So if you have that one, you could probably use that in place of this. Another one from the drugstore is this little Essence palette, Dancing Green. And I think this palette is really, really cute. And the formula in here is decent. It's extremely affordable. You can pick this up at Ulta and really, really enjoy this one. And I think this is a great like Christmassy theme. And now my household, we do Hanukkah and Christmas and obviously New Year's. My oldest daughter is half Jewish, so when she's with us and it happens to land on a day in the Hanukkah week, then we will celebrate some Hanukkah traditions here in my household. My little kids enjoy that a lot, so that is why I'm kind of also bringing that up as well, in case somebody was curious, like why she keeps saying Hanukkah for, because we do that in my house. So we have here Star Wars Darth Vader. I know this is kind of an unexpected palette because of the packaging, but if you open it up, I think these shades of red and cool tone shimmers are absolutely beautiful for the holiday season. If you are a person who does not like the cool tones, the grays, but you kind of like the vibe of this palette, a palette I recently picked up from ColourPop and seems to be on sale most of the time, is the Chicago Bulls palette. I know you don't think Christmas when you see the Chicago Bulls, but it has the reds, it has that black shimmer in there, it has this beautiful, you know, pewter, but the tones in the mattes are a little bit more brown cool tone instead of the gray. And this shade here, it's like, these are two like berry shades. Let me swatch them for you. Even that tan shade I feel like has a touch of pink in it, so I just feel like this is very Christmassy without screaming Christmas on the palette. It's more versatile than you think. Sometimes you can't just look at the packaging and think that that's, you know, that's the only thing that screams holiday. Another one that I love and I think screams holiday for me is the Natasha Denona Zendo palette. I know it's disgusting, the packaging, but this is what she looks like in the inside. You got reds, you got greens, you have lots of neutrals. This formula is not the crazy metallic sparkly shade you know, version of Natasha Denona that so many people love, and I think that's why it gets a bad rep. But I think this is perfect for the everyday makeup wearer who's not looking for drama but wants something of interest. I did do a video with this one and I will link it in the eye if you're interested. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful palette. One of my most coveted palettes because I feel like this is for the everyday person and not just the person who wants the glitz, the glam and all that, you know what I mean? The next one I want to talk about is Gimme Glow. So I do know that they have a Christmas palette that is Christmas theme, and I don't have that one, but I feel like if you get your hands on the vintage Rose palette, you're getting Christmas. And this is what she looks like on the inside. And you might have this already in your drawer. This is a couple years old, but it is beautiful for the Christmas holiday season. And I highly recommend that you pull this out if you have it. Their formula is amazing. The next palette I want to talk to you guys about is the Beauty Bay Earthly palette. If you are looking for green, if you are a green lover and for Christmas that is your thing, is the greens, then you might want to pull this one out. I also have the big one. They also have a 9-pan, depending on which one you have. Pull out what you got. Or if you were interested in this, you could probably just pick up the 9-pan at a very affordable price. Beauty Bay always has their palettes on sale, and the formula is very consistent. So I definitely like this palette a lot, and I think this would be a great option if you are a lover of greens. My next palette here is the Melt Cosmetics Mariposa palette. This came out for holiday last year, and when I open it up, you're going to see exactly why. You got your berries, you got your neutrals, and you got your greens. It's everything you might want for the holiday season, 100%. And the formula in this is stellar. It is not like any of the other ones. So if you have this in your collection, this is the reminder to you to pull it out. I don't know if they still have this, but this is definitely something that, again, if you have it in your collection, I'd highly recommend you pulling it back out. This palette, I honestly think it's the Star Wars palette from ColourPop, is probably the most versatile of all the palettes that I'm going to talk to you, because it has reds and it has blues, it has neutrals, and it has these beautiful like metallic shimmers, and I think those would work good for like New Year's. You got your red for Christmas, you got your blue for Hanukkah. I just think this is a stellar palette, and the quality is good, the color story is great, and just because it says Star Wars, again, doesn't mean that you can only wear it when you're going to see a Star Wars movie, when you're sitting down to watch Disney Plus Mandalorian or something like that. This is a beautiful palette. I think one of the things I've learned a lot this year is that the packaging does not make the palette. We need to use the palette for what we got inside, and there's lots of inspiration that you can pull in different directions. So next palette I want to talk to you guys is the Pat McGrath Mothership. This is the Bronze Seduction. It has this gorgeous red in here that is just so stunning that I think for me really screams Christmas. You also have this special shade here, and it's just so gorgeous. I feel like this is the glitz and the glamour when you're going to that holiday party and you really want something that's gonna stand out. This is definitely the palette for you. All right, getting into some palettes that I think lean a little bit more New Year's, maybe Hanukkah, the blue tones, the silvers. We have the Undone Beauty Curated Quad. This is the Gray Geese one, and this is just a really beautiful formula. I'm gonna swatch it on the back of my hand so you can see. This is from the drugstore. This shade right here, I don't know if the camera is gonna catch it. It's like a blue and pink shifty shade, and then this white one on the end, I mean, it's kind of difficult to see, but it's gold. It's a beautiful gold. I think this is a gorgeous little quad from the drugstore that is affordable. If you don't want to go out and buy like a whole big palette for the New Year's holiday, but you want something a little bit different in your collection, something that you know you're not going to reach for all the time, so you don't want to spend a ton of money, I definitely think that this is the palette